Time is not a burden to bear but a tool to build. Too often we speak of time as though it is our enemy, an invisible weight dragging behind us, a thief that steals our youth, our chances, our dreams. We hear the phrases, "There's never enough time," "Time ran out," or "Time is slipping away." And yet, my friends, time does not run out. We simply fail to run with it. Time does not slip away. We often let it go unused, unloved, unpurposed. It is not time that hinders us. It is our hesitation to use it boldly, wisely, and creatively. Each hour is a hammer in the hands of the determined. Each minute is a brick in the wall of progress. Each second is a seed that, if sown in courage and conviction, can bear the fruits of greatness. We are not trapped by the ticking of the clock. We are empowered by it. For the same 24 hours that were given to the trailblazers of history have been placed in our hands. What we do with them defines not just our destiny, but the legacy we leave behind. Time is the canvas on which we paint the dreams we dare to chase. And make no mistake, those who shaped the world before us, those who lifted nations, who marched in the face of injustice, who spoke truth in the shadows of doubt, they were not given more time. They were simply more intentional with it. They saw time not as something to survive, but as something to use asterisk, not something to endure, but something to ignite asterisk. When we view time as a burden, we live in a state of waiting for the right moment, the perfect day, the ideal condition. But when we understand that time is a tool, we stop waiting and start building. We pick up the moments, shape them with meaning, mold them with vision, and place them into the foundation of our lives. Every delay becomes an opportunity missed. Every excuse becomes a brick left unused. Every wasted hour becomes a door that could have opened, but never did. We were not born to count the days. We were born to make the days count. Every morning is a fresh invitation. Every sunrise is a sacred call to action. You don't need to be rich in resources if you are rich in resolve. You don't need to have all the answers. You only need the will to begin and the discipline to continue. Because time, when wielded by the creative mind and the courageous heart, can build nations, break chains, and birth movements. Let us stop saying, "I don't have time," and start asking, "What can I build with the time I have?" Let us stop treating time as a ticking bomb and start embracing it as a chisel, shaping our vision, carving our future, and refining our purpose. Time does not come to imprison us. It comes to partner with us. It comes to remind us that we are not powerless in the face of its passage. We are powerful in how we respond. The future is shaped by how we spend the minutes we overlook. Not the grand moments, not the milestones, not the spotlight hours, but the quiet ones. The in-between ones, the ordinary minutes we often waste in distraction, delay, or doubt. These are the moments that determine the path we walk and the impact we leave behind. Because destiny is not written in bold letters all at once. It is spelled out in small decisions, repeated daily, shaped minute by minute. We often dream of the future as something far away, something coming to meet us one day. But the truth is, the future isn't waiting for us. It is being created by us right now. Every moment you spend wondering if you're ready is a moment the future is being written without your input. Every minute lost to scrolling endlessly, doubting yourself silently, or avoiding responsibility deliberately is a minute the future could have been bending toward your purpose. But instead, it passed unnoticed. You don't need to wait for a grand opportunity to make a difference. Sometimes the most powerful change begins with the smallest, most overlooked moment. The 5 minutes you use to learn something new, the 10 minutes you spend encouraging someone else, the 15 minutes you give to reflection or prayer or purpose. Those moments shape not just who you are, but what tomorrow becomes. The present is not just a path to the future. It is the architect of the future. We are taught to value hours of productivity, years of achievement, lifetimes of legacy, but we forget that all of these are built out of minutes. Every towering dream is made from a million tiny decisions crafted in moments that no one else sees, and those overlooked minutes, they are not invisible to the future. The future remembers them all. It grows from them. It is moved by them. You may think, what difference can 1 minute make? But 1 minute can change the course of a life. 1 minute of courage can break a silence. 1 minute of kindness can restore hope. 1 minute of determination can shatter the chains of apathy and begin a revolution within. And when you begin to treat every minute as valuable, as sacred, you will begin to live with urgency, with intention, and with purpose. Time is the currency of progress, and the smallest coin is the minute. What we spend it on reveals what we truly value. Do we invest it in distractions that fade or in growth that lasts? Do we give it to fear or to faith? Do we use it to avoid our calling or to step into it one brave breath at a time? You do not have to wait for some mythical perfect moment to begin creating your future. You simply have to begin honoring the moments you already have. What seems like just another Monday morning, just another long commute, just another lunch break, these are the building blocks of the life you're becoming. The overlooked minutes are not filler, they are foundation. And how you treat them speaks volumes about the future you are willing to build. Procrastination is the silent partner of lost potential. It walks beside us not with shouts or alarms, but with quiet suggestions, not now. It whispers, maybe later. It hums. And while it seems harmless in the moment, while it often wears the mask of rest, reflection, or preparation, it is stealing something sacred. It is stealing time, purpose, and the fire of dreams that were never given their chance to burn. There is no thunder when procrastination arrives, no lightning to warn us. It simply settles into our routines, our habits, our excuses. It convinces us that tomorrow is better, that we'll be stronger next week, that clarity will come if we just wait long enough. But waiting without action is not patience. It is postponement, and while we delay, life continues. Opportunities move on, doors close, and the person we are meant to become is left wondering why we never showed up. Every goal, every vision, every idea placed in your heart is like a seed waiting for the moment to grow. But seeds do not sprout in intentions alone. They require work, attention, and movement. Procrastination is the drought that leaves potential buried beneath layers of someday. It is not the enemy that destroys from outside. It is the accomplice we invite inside. It uses our own voice, our own doubts, to keep us from acting. We must begin to recognize procrastination not as a break, but as a barrier. Not as a pause, but as a pattern that tells us we're not ready, that others are better suited, that it's safer to wait until everything is perfect. But perfection is a lie dressed as wisdom. Progress is never made by those who wait for ideal conditions. It is made by those who move forward anyway, who act while still uncertain, who take steps while still afraid. The tragedy of procrastination is not just what it delays, it's what it prevents. It prevents momentum, it prevents learning, it prevents the discovery that only comes through action. The person who delays writing the book never finds their voice. The one who delays the speech never finds their courage. The one who delays the dream never finds the life that dream could have built. And in the end, it is not time that takes from us. It is the decision not to use time. It is the hours given to distraction. The days given to doubt, the weeks lost to fear disguised as planning. You don't have to know every step to take the first one. You don't need all the answers to begin asking the right questions. What you need is to refuse the lie that later is better. Because later is not promised, and later never builds anything, you were born with something the world needs, not next year, not when you feel more confident, but now. There is no genius in waiting. There is no courage in delay. There is no reward for standing still while life calls you forward. Procrastination may be quiet, but its consequences echo loudly. It's not the storm we hear. It's the silence that grows deeper each day we let our purpose wait. Creativity redeems time from routine and gives it purpose. In the rhythm of our days, we often fall into patterns, waking, working, waiting, repeating, until time begins to feel like something that just passes us by, rather than something we can shape. We go through motions, check the boxes, and fulfill expectations, but deep inside, something still yearns to break free. That something is our creative spirit, calling us to do more than exist, to create, to build, to imagine a better way of living and giving. Routine is not the enemy. Routine keeps us steady, gives us structure, and allows for discipline. But when we allow routine to become the ruler of our lives instead of the servant of our vision, we begin to drift. We trade wonder for predictability. We trade inspiration for automation, and without creativity, time becomes hollow. We fill it with activity, but not meaning. We stay busy, but not fulfilled. We work, but we do not build something that truly reflects who we are. Creativity is what lifts time above the mechanical and turns it into something divine. It allows us to take an ordinary moment and make it extraordinary. A walk becomes a wellspring of ideas. A conversation becomes a canvas for connection. A simple task becomes a chance to innovate. When we live creatively, we stop waiting for time to inspire us. We become the ones who inspire time itself. We breathe life into the hours we are given. We turn the clock into a compass that points us toward purpose. The most powerful use of time is not to follow every rule without question, but to ask, is there a better way? The creative mind does not accept the world as it is. It imagines what it could be, and in doing so, it makes the most of time. It sees value in the forgotten moment, finds beauty in the overlooked detail, and transforms the dull into something dynamic. Every invention, every piece of art, every act of kindness that reshapes a soul began as a moment redeemed through creativity. You don't have to be an artist to be creative. Creativity lives wherever courage dares to change the script. When you choose to write a new chapter in your life instead of repeating the old one, that is creativity. When you build a business, a movement, or a message out of nothing but vision and faith, that is creativity. When you turn pain into purpose, struggle into strength, and setbacks into stories, you are practicing the highest form of time's redemption. Creativity turns time into a tool for transformation. It reminds us that we are not bound to the limits of circumstance. We are not stuck in what has been. We are invited to shape what will be. With each creative act, no matter how small, we declare that time will not be wasted in worry or worn down by monotony. It will be given shape, color, voice, and soul. Time becomes meaningful when it becomes intentional, and creativity is how we give intention its most powerful form. We must act now, not in fear of time, but in faith with it. Time is not our enemy. It is not a ticking threat or a vanishing flame. Time is a sacred gift placed in our hands each day, waiting to be used with courage and conviction. And yet, so many of us live in hesitation. We hold back, paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes, by the fear of failure, or even the fear of success. But time is not calling us to be perfect. It is calling us to be present, to show up, to take that first bold step, not because we are certain, but because we believe in what could be. Acting in fear means we live cautiously, constantly looking at the clock as a countdown. We fear we're running out, fear we've missed our chance, fear that the moment is too big for us, but faith looks at time as an ally, not a threat. Faith says, this is my moment. Faith says, now is the time to move, because no dream ever built itself. No vision ever walked forward on its own. The future we want is waiting, but it will not wait forever. There is a quiet lie that whispers, you still have time. It tells us to delay our purpose, to postpone our passion, to keep waiting for the right mood, the right support, the right sign. But faith doesn't ask for guarantees. Faith builds in the unknown. Faith moves forward without needing all the answers. And when we move in faith with time, we stop treating life like something to survive. We start treating it like something to shape. This moment, this very breath, is alive with possibility. It is full of unseen potential, full of hidden power, full of decisions that will ripple into years. There is nothing small about the present moment when we meet it with action. Each choice we make to rise, to speak, to begin, becomes a declaration that we are not living in fear. We are partnering with time, shaping the days ahead with boldness. When we act in faith, we do not wait for confidence to come, we create it. We do not wait for the fear to fade, we walk through it. Because every great story ever told, every mountain ever climbed, every movement ever born began with a single person deciding that now was the time. Not later, not when conditions were perfect, but now, while the heart was still beating, while the fire was still burning. You were not given this moment by accident. Time does not make mistakes. It presents opportunities, sometimes disguised as challenges, sometimes hidden within the ordinary. And when we act now, we honor time. We show it that we see the gift it truly is. Fear will always have a voice, but it does not have to write the story. Let faith take the pen. Let action be the ink. Let every second be marked by the courage to move, to trust, to begin. Because acting in fear leads to regret, but acting in faith leads to becoming. Wasted time is a wound to justice, progress, and purpose. Every moment we choose comfort over calling, silence over speaking, or convenience over conviction is a moment that could have changed something, changed someone, changed the direction of a life, changed the rhythm of the world around us. Time is not neutral. It is either being used to move the world forward or allowed to slip away, strengthening the status quo and delaying the transformation that is desperately needed. Justice does not bloom in empty hours. It is planted in action, watered by commitment, and grown through sacrifice. Every cause that has shaken the world awake began with people who refused to waste time waiting for someone else to act. They saw time not as something to pass, but as something to use, something to bend in the direction of what is right. When we waste time, we are not only delaying our own progress, we are delaying the healing of others, the uplifting of communities, the realization of dreams bigger than our own. Progress is not a product of ideas alone. It is born from discipline, forged through consistency, and fueled by an urgency that recognizes how precious every day truly is. Wasting time in hesitation, in distraction, or in endless preparation is to rob the future of the progress it needs today. The world does not change because we wish it to. It changes because we move, we speak, we act, even when we're afraid, even when we feel unqualified. Each wasted moment is a moment the world remains unchanged, untouched, unlifted by the fire within us that we chose not to release. Purpose is not something we find, it is something we build, and building takes time, not just time on the calendar, but time fully lived, time filled with action, reflection, intention, and growth. When we waste time, we chip away at the foundation of our own becoming. We weaken the connection between who we are and who we are meant to be, because purpose demands energy. It demands time used with clarity, not clouded by distraction or diluted by delay. When we waste time, we silence the voice of our purpose, even if we don't realize it in the moment. The world today does not suffer from a lack of potential, it suffers from a lack of urgency. Too many voices remain unheard because the ones called to speak are still waiting. Too many visions remain unseen because the ones meant to create them are still planning. And too many injustices still go unchallenged because the hearts that care are still caught in hesitation. Wasted time is not passive, it is powerful. Powerful in what it allows to continue, what it permits to remain, and what it denies the chance to become. We must begin to treat time like the force it truly is. Not a slow stream we simply float down, but a powerful river we can steer toward change. When we give our time to something, we give it our life in pieces. And when we waste it, we surrender something sacred. Justice demands our time, progress demands our time, purpose demands our time, not later, not someday, but now, with all the courage we can gather and all the passion we can pour into each fleeting but powerful moment.